Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon. This is Indy Comics in Spain. And yet again, I brought on another fantastic group of independent comic books creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in my co-host. What's up, Mark?
Feels like we're having a little bit of deja vu right here.
Oh,
Hi, this is Mark Torres of the Came From the Radio, the official The Big Apple Con. I am glad to be part of the show this week, and I also host a live show on the second Wednesday of every month at the East Middle Public Library, so you guys can go check me out there as well.
all right, cool. And the man filling for Coco, host.
What up, though? Hey, it's Mark
Another
Dudley. Mark Dudley from Imaginos Workshop. We do comics. We do small movie production, write film scripts, and we probably take the trash out too. We do a lot. We have a lot of fun.
Nice, nice. Next, we got in. How you doing, Joe? Please introduce yourself.
Hey! Well, am I on?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Joe Spicer, Starcross Comics. Great to be here. Got a campaign that's live right now. Let's go.
Cool. Next. What's up, Aaron? How you doing?
Doing good. My name's Aaron, creator of Knocked comic book, my own. I have other comic books on my store, Humphres Illustration, and I just signed a deal to have my Knocked comic published by Rolling Squidbones.
That's
so
nice.
they're doing digital and stuff. Yeah, I like Chad, so I thought, I'd go with them, having fun. So I'm on finishing my third issue of Knocked, just trying to get the cover done. Trying. Almost there.
Almost there. Nice.
Yeah.
What's up, Jason? How you been?
JD, I'm doing good, man. Great to join in for another in-depth talk about independent comic creation.
Yes. Very nice. Jason, introduce yourself.
So I'm Jason Lenox. I've been making independent comics since 2011, and I currently have my latest issue of Lords of the Cosmos, issue 5, back for its second encore showing on Indiegogo. So wrapping that up so I can move on to the next issue. So currently Lords of the Cosmos 5 on Indiegogo. So that's what's up, JD.
Cool. Jason, I sent you a note on the private chat, so you check that out real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So, gentlemen, every week I have this show question. So I'm going to ask everybody that question. What opportunities have indie comics offered you? Right? So that's the show question. That's the question I'm asking. Last man in is first man up. So, Jason, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've met a lot of really great people, fellow creators, fans, etc. But I think probably the most interesting opportunity that making comics has given to me was that I ended up working with Virgil Abloh and doing some design for some of his clothing and runway shows for Off-White, and then I designed his last album cover before he passed away a few years ago. Not necessarily comic book related, but that was probably the most interesting tangential thing that happened to me from being present as an independent comic creator.
Very nice. I like it. Aaron, what are your thoughts?
I had to stop and think about this. I think me making comics, I got an internship at a company called Deep Sky Studios in Portland, Oregon. I'm in Vancouver, Washington, just outside Portland, Oregon, and ended up doing a comic for them, and then ended up working for the company that's how I got into doing motion graphics, storyboarding, illustration for motion graphics, which is part of my day job besides ad design. I do motion graphics now for a gentleman in Alaska. And so I've been that's why my cover's not been getting done for my third comic, because I keep getting work so we're doing stuff for the Alaska Forestry Center. So I keep getting work called in with him. I'm like, okay. So other things put on pause. Other than that, going to conventions, meeting people, I think I've gone to some independent comic meetups and met some good friends through that. So yeah, meeting people, whatever. But I think, kind of starting my career so I use comics to not start my career in comics, but start my career in motion graphics, which that's how that went. So, it's work.
All right, cool. Joe.
So I think it gave us freedom to do the stories that we wanted to tell. I met all the Starcross creator members. We have 15 now, and it started off as a small group. So being able to tell the stories that we want to do, be able to expand our universe, be able to whether it be draw ourselves or write and draw. I mean, to get a louder voice to all our audience and just keep building and keep creating all our books that we've been doing.
All right, cool. Mark C.
Well, Indie Comics Man has the opportunity. One of the main opportunities it's given me is to be able to let my voice sing out, and to make a platform for other people to let their voices sing out. And it's given me a platform to actually teach other people the craft of doing comics.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Mark.
For me, I would say the biggest opportunity would be having the ability to go to San Diego Comic-Con, having the ability to be on a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, having the opportunity to have my comic book read as a radio play at New York Comic-Con on a panel. Those things, the door has opened wide for just being a creator. Having that, it's just amazing to think about, to sit back and think, we've been doing this for 23 years. And I've been wanting to do comics since I was born. So just seeing back all these things that has happened, it's crazy how these doors have opened just by being creative.
All right, cool. For myself, I would say it's, I had to think a little bit. It's funny, I asked a question, I have to think about it. But I think for myself, it's the relationships I've built with some of the most long-standing friends I have. I met all in comics. My wife, I met through comics. Two of my buddies, David and David, both artists. One of them colors for me. He's Montoya. He used to color for Milestone. I've been friends with him for going on 30 years, right? David Cules, same thing. My other friend Richard, my other friend Steve. Steve's probably going on 40. So, it's these long-standing relationships that I've had with these guys. And not just guys, just like I said, with my wife. So yeah, I think that those are probably, and with those came with really good opportunities. With Matt, I got the opportunity to work on La Blue Girl and Tenchi Muyu and all that stuff. With Steve, I got other opportunities to work with other publishers. And then with like Richard and Dave, just driving around the country with those guys, doing shows. So it's like just been with those guys forever. So
sure.
Yeah, it's I think that's been perhaps the best thing I've gotten out of indie comics. Just being, doing comics in general. So yeah, that's why I fall with that. That was easy. Mark. That was really
show's
good.
over. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
That's it.
Okay,
that's it. All right.
That's it. Mark, you're up.
Well, man, I got a question that I want to add to
So-
this.
Which Mark is it? It said,
Yeah, which Mark is it?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We'll go with Mark T first.
Other
and then
part of
we'll
the Mark
go-
can go.
Mark T, you get it.
Yeah, Mark T, then Mark C. All right.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. I was thinking about this for a while because, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and the industry has changed. They always say you have to adapt or you have to die. What is the biggest changes that you have made, or have you made multiple changes from when you started to where you are now?
All right, cool. Aaron, you're up.
I think that changes I've made is I like to experiment with not just stories and ideas, but formats. And so I did, my last graphic novel was 12 issues, but this series, Knocked, I was inspired by the old Conan stories, the sort of like pulp stories or individual stories, and like Usagi Yojimbo. And I really like the idea that you can read any Usagi Yojimbo story and have a good time. You don't need. So I'm like, how do you do that? Because I'm a one-man army doing this all myself. So I can't really do a series because like in a year or two, they're going to be like, what happened to issue 1? What's going on? I lose interest. So I decided to make each individual issue a complete story and throw it out that way. And I'm not numbering them. So this is kind of an innovation I'm taking. That way, anybody who sees one, you could buy whatever one you want and enjoy the story. And the Precept, he's a Halloween barbarian. He's a barbarian like in a Halloween infused world. I like to run Halloween stuff. I like barbarians, so I smash them together. And that was kind of the idea, but that's kind of the format. Some of the stuff that I've been doing is trying to figure out how to get new readers into my stuff without having them have to commit, or like they see my stuff, they're like, well, I don't remember this guy. I don't remember, or we know that DVC issue 1, issue 2 is never going to come or whatever. So and I think this is going okay. And some people I've noticed it's an impulse buy because there's no commitment. Oh, I like this cover. This is cool. And they grab for $5 and take off. I've had that happen a few times. And it's also geared towards kids. So I actually give my stuff away for kids. No, I shouldn't, but I give my stuff away to kids or whatever, try to get them involved in that and stuff. And so it also takes the pressure off me because it's like, well, I can get another one done in a year or two, and then you don't need to remember anything from the other ones. You can just read that one and have a good time.
Right.
So that was kind of what I've been trying to innovate, or like trying to change, because the industry's been innovating. So I know a lot of manga is series, but maybe do shorter stories and not just anthologies, but shorter individual stories that are part of a series, if that makes sense. Because I know anthologies do a lot of short stories, but the problem is usually I have like one story in there, and I don't want to buy the anthology for that one story and have a bunch of stuff I don't want to read. So that's why I don't like anthologies. So,
all right, that's fair. Joe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to tell the whole like life story of Starcross, but I mean, when we started, we're this was like 25 years ago, maybe 26 and a half years ago. I mean, we're cutting out Zipatone, and we're using a friend's computer that was very old school, and cutting out word bubbles and using glue sticks for our pages. That was the old day. And then you could only do black and white. I mean, colors was like ridiculously impossible to do. They weren't doing digital presses, everything had to be set up and all this stuff. So, and you'd have to pay for so many books. And now with the digital age, we draw everything. I mean, I still have stacks of blue line boards, in drawers. But now everything we do on the computer, everything is, digitally drawn. Everything is, sent to our printer instantly in New York. And we have creators in, either different countries, different states, and we're just communicating with them instantly, and social media, because you got to get everything out, and just digital colors, digital letters. So everything changed that way. And some other changes is like I told people I would never write novels because I have no interest. I only want to do comics. That's all I know how to do. And some friends started writing novels. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I have all these scripts, and I have backstories that I won't even go into. So I started writing a prequel novel, and I finished that. And that's going to be coming out on Amazon and our website and stuff. And then I started doing like mini novellas, and I did one for Halloween, and those are fun. So that's something I've never thought I would ever do. And as far as, like 3D printing action figures and statues. So that's new stuff. And just like animating, things, there's so much in technology out now. So you got to utilize it before other people do, and get your stuff out. And so, yeah, we're always innovating, trying to figure out how can we do this better? How can we do this faster? So from when we started to now, it's completely unrecognizable. So it's all technology, it makes things easier, makes things sometimes cheaper, so faster, all this stuff where would have taken you had to hire 100 people to do a 5-second animation. Now you can just do it on the computer yourself, and that stuff. But then it makes people who don't necessarily have a good vision be able to produce things. So now you're competing with any buddy who wants to make something. So then you're like, this is kind of, our expertise in knowing how to make great stuff. So now you're competing with pretty much anybody who wants to make something. So you just got to make your stuff that much better. And hopefully you get your stuff seen and they can see the quality is there, the writing's there, the characters are there, the content is there, the quality, and the delivery and the communication with the fans. So that's what I.
Okay, cool. Jason, what are your thoughts? What did you have to change?
When I started doing this, I just did everything by hand. I hand inked every page I did with rapidity graphs, and it was super slow. And over time, I wanted to do bigger and more complex projects, and then I had to include more people. And my life's become busier outside of this. So then you start saying, well, how much can I, have other people do for me and still retain, my vision into what I want to do. So there's definitely less solo act, more collaboration, which is just a change. I don't know if it's better or worse, right? So that's definitely a kind of a shift. And, I'm now at the 5th book in a series. So that was something that I was kind of building to, having my own series of, connected characters and stories. But I would say the other thing that I've seen change a lot in the last 2 years is when I first started doing this, I went to my first convention in 2012, and I've been a regular doing conventions, during that time. And there was always a very close relationship between, doing events and meeting readers and kind of using the live in-person events to help build a fan base you could use for crowdfunding. I did my first Kickstarter back in 2012, so I've been around that for quite a bit. I'm sure many of you guys have too. But I've seen the convention scene start to really take a beating for the last couple of years. I think a lot of the general economy has affected it. And I found that scene in general has started to degrade. So then there's the challenge of, if you're not going to be able to meet as many new readers and make that time productive, then how is it we're going to keep building our fan bases? And I'm not sure what all of your experiences are with that, but definitely the last couple of years, costs have gone up, traffic has gone down, interest has gone down, and the Comic-Con is kind of a lot of them seem more like flea markets to me these days. Yeah. That they're kind of 3D printing, craft show, AI art, soaps, barbecue sauce. I mean, they're just kind of like selling space, and they're seemingly more than ever. And they're all longer and longer and more expensive and less productive, where I think I'm probably going to do less shows in 2026 than I have done, like probably since the very first year I did it, because a lot of them are just becoming non-productive time wasters, which is kind of sad. But I guess the other big change of that was kind of like a plug and play, go and do it, to kind of more of like, why are we here? And it's not as productive as it used to be. So those are what I'd say are the two changes. One is more me, one is more macro.
All right, cool. Mark C., what are your thoughts?
Man, to me, it's all cyclical. I mean, there's some things I've been able to do, or that I've evolved into doing. Everybody, you guys have talked about going from hand to digital. I was one of them dudes who took the sticker paper and put it on the page. We didn't do with glue. We discovered sticker paper. It was like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So, on the page for lettering and stuff. And, I do IT for as a day job. So I'm really kind of technology oriented. So the minute we was able to get a copy of Photoshop, it was a little bit different. You had to master that, had to master the hand Wacom tablet and stuff like that. And, now I've moved to the touchscreen the touchscreen tablets and all that type of stuff, right? But reason I say it was cyclical is and this alludes to what Jason was talking about a little bit. Even the con scene, when we first started out, like the JDs, myself, you remember in the 90s and whatnot, it was a flea market then.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, man, it was the
bootleg VHSs.
You had tables that was almost porn with spots on the nipples and all that type of stuff. You remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was a flea market back then. I think, but ultimately, with all this, I think the biggest thing that I've changed is my view toward the craft. Back when I was younger, I was trying to be, I'm gonna be famous like Jim Lee or whatever, blah blah blah. But I didn't really have understanding and a real love for the craft. Then it was all about I can draw just like them. I'm gonna do this and this and this. But then as I got a love for the craft, I started to realize that it was more about my own enjoyment, and I was letting other people into my worlds instead of uh I'm doing this for them, at the end of the day. So ultimately, I think what's changed is I've gotten a sense of peace and I've gotten a sense of contentment just from being able to put my own stuff out and say the stuff I want to say.
All right, cool. For myself, I think the biggest changes were going from diamond and offset printing to then doing a lot of conventions, right? Then moving to digital printing and Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
I think those are the biggest changes for myself. Moving from distributing through Diamond to then having to distribute basically at conventions, and then having to switch over to Kickstarter and moving over to digital printing. So I think those are the biggest changes for me. All right, Mark, what's it for you?
Mark T.
Mark D.
For me,
Yeah.
I think me, Mark. For me, I think the biggest transition or change is the audience interest. I always feel like I'm always chasing the tail of that interest, because when I first was trying to get my book out, it was single issues. Then it became do it as a graphic novel. Then it became back to single issues. Then it became do it as a trade. Then it became single issues. And I think now we're starting to lean once again towards doing it as a graphic novel. And I'm always chasing that of which version to get it out. And I'm like, you know what? Just let me just get it out, and then add whatever I can get it out as, and I'll be fine.
I always saw that as like impulse buy versus investment. Single issues. Oh, sure, I could try that. It's only $5, right? Graphic novel, $20. A little more spendy. I mean, you kind of think of it. Do I really want? I mean, in other words, if the cover looks cool in a single issue, you may throw it in your stack. That graphic novel, you're reading the back of it, right? What's this about? What you're checking the artwork. What's in this? So I think, I mean, it's do you believe comics should be an impulse buy or somewhat of an investment? And I don't know. I think that's a decision each person kind of makes.
Yeah, because what's funny is it shows. Now, mind you, I haven't done many recently, but I found at shows I've been finding that trades are easier to sell.
Yeah.
Sometimes even more than single issues.
Yeah.
You can sell a $20 trade, whereas maybe a $5 book that's part of a series. They're like, but if you give them the whole story and say, well, this is a complete story, that they're a little bit more interested in. I mean, if like you said, you're doing one shots, so it'll work for you.
Yeah, it's the same concept. It's just like a smaller, I guess, graphic novel. I think people just want to know, like, if I buy this, am I getting a complete story, and do I have to come back?
Right.
Because especially if I do one show a year, just this local show, and because I think cons have changed too, so I just do one that I locally, and I'm not chasing down the cons. But that person's like, well, if I buy number 1, are you going to come back next year, or where can I find you? Where can I get it? Are you even going to make issue 2? So I think complete stories at conventions help, because they can just buy it. It's like, I never see you again. Then I've gotten what I wanted, a complete story, and then you can go your merry way. So,
yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a way. What we usually do is we sell single issues. Our single issues are in our anthologies. Or if it's something that, like, we also do web comics. So what we'll do sometimes, like, we'll collect slower stories into a trade paperback or graphic novel, and that sells pretty well, to be honest to you. But then if there's something especially action oriented, we can get away with selling a single issue of that.
Yeah.
Because it's action oriented. You get in there, it's pow with bang, right? So and we try to make sure that the stories, even if they're episodic, if they're as self-contained as we can get them.
Yeah.
So that it's satisfying read, and you'll be like, oh man, I want to see what's going on next. You know, we don't like to leave a bunch of threads hanging at the end of an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you see this fatigue. I've often wondered this fatigue in movies, and not just Marvel, DC, but a lot of movies and TV shows always have cliffhangers. This is what drives me nuts about especially a Netflix series. They always have a cliffhanger at the end of a season, and then they cancel it.
Yeah.
It's like, stop. Dude, it makes you not even want to watch anything. I mean, like that, you know, I think Stranger Things is ending.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job, Netflix. You finished something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's unbelievable. So it's like, well, I'm going to watch this and it'll be a cliffhanger. So, you know, I think comic books, indie comics can sometimes be the same way. I mean, that I'll be honest, that's taught me a lot from buying issue ones, because I'm like, well, I'll get like the first 15 minutes of a movie and I'll never see the end of this. A lot of people prove me wrong, but a lot of people have not. And so,
I mean, you know, it's a thing. Look, I mean, we all have to get out there and, you know, push these books. So look, we're gonna start pushing books right now. Right now, we got Star-Crossed Team Up.
Yo.
Joe, do you want me to play this video?
Yeah, let's go.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So walk us through. Oh, but Joe, before you even start
You bet.
walking us through it, you had sent me something before.
I
the
did.
show. Talk about that.
So this is a star-crossed team up, obviously. So this is two characters from two of our books, and Ken Keller is the creator of the Scorcher. He's from the Red Talon books, and he knew I was going to be on the show, and he said, hey, tell them that the first four backers from the show, I mean, that are watching the show, will get I think it's anywhere from $15 to $35
Pledge, yeah.
a pledge, will get a free t-shirt.
That's cool. That's cool.
So he told me that, so I wanted to get that word out right away. So that being said, I can talk about the book.
All right, cool.
Okay, so Star-Crossed Team Up is a series we're doing where they're one shots. So they're, you know, your character, my character, and then we make a standalone story. They're from two different books. Now, Pentecost, he's a very interesting character. He's the one with the blue flame, which is actually plasma. That he can control that and make constructs out of that plasma. But he's been living for a few years now as a homeless person. So he is very much he suffers from clinical depression. He's lost his children. He tells people that they were taken from him by this government organization called the Global Order Decree, and people just think he's crazy. And, you know, he does talk to himself. He does, talk about, he used to be a superhero on a team called the Quantum Mechanics, but most people have forgotten about them, and they just think he's some crazy guy who's in a costume who lives under bridges in homeless camps. But yes, he does have a little bit of schizophrenia. He's gone through a lot. So he's been living there, trying to, living on the streets, trying to track down his daughter and his son who've been taken. And as he's going through that, he contemplates suicide a lot. And what happens is he gets his camp gets raided on by this organization that comes from the Red Talon comic by Ken Keller. And the organization is called Dark. And one of the chief agents of Dark is Scorcher, and he's from the Red Talon comic. And his dad is Burning Skull, which is the head of the organization. And they raid his camp, abduct him, and what they want to do is they want to siphon his plasma so his father can use it in his suit and basically get a mega upgrade. So that's when he gets captured and they want to do experiments on him. He puts up a good fight, and what happens is this issue is called Father's Day, and not only are they both fire users, but Scorcher, he has father issues because his father is Burning Skull, and he is very abusive. He uses Scorcher as a weapon, even though it's his son, and he punishes him ruthlessly when he fails. So that plays out through flashbacks as Pentecost is on the operating table. And then he tells his story that he's looking for his children, and he sees that he's a good father, and it's contrasting his father, Burning Skull. And as that's going through, he's playing out in his head, is he doing the right thing by having him, basically have his power drained out, and he would die after that. So there was this thing where Scorcher, even in Red Talon comics, was going through a conflict of, is he doing the right thing, being the son of Burning Skull and doing all these missions. And I wanted that to play out between these two characters, and their focus is fatherhood and obviously fire, because they're all fire users, and they're actually called combustors, and it's this power structure that we have in the Star-Crossed universe. They're all partially there's Nephilim, and the Nephilim have kind of watered down versions of them, which are called crossbreeds. And they have different powers. It's kind of like our mutants. So the most common ones are fire users, teleporters, and people with wings. But then it goes through a wide variety of different powers after that. So this is a showcasing a lot of that info. And the story is actually lots of action, but lots of sad, emotional ties to fathers. And so there's a lot going on, not only fighting and explosions and battles, but also a hard-hitting story that plays out at the end. It's a real cool book to have, read through and go, wow, that was a really good self-contained story. And then if you want more of these characters, you can go to their books and read those.
Sure.
All right. It's cool. And Joe, it's not sad, it's introspective.
I know.
know.
When I said it was a wrong terminology, but it's
Character building.
Yeah.
Do you want to be depressed? Have I got the book for you?
Yeah.
Exactly. So so it's not sad. It's just,
Never get the guy on the bridge the same again.
You need to mess around with different states of mind with characters. You can't just have a guy, he has superpowers, so he's just like Superman. He doesn't have a worry in the world. He's got all these powers. Well, what if somebody was actually, homeless and actually going through mental condition, and you see homeless people and you go, oh man, I wonder what their life was like. Wonder what maybe they're they're talking to themselves. What if they were actually talking to somebody? What if they were in some different dimension or something, like, and it's like you start going, what if you take a superhero that used to be on top and now is at the very bottom? And do they even care that they have powers? Do they even care to even fight?
Right.
all right, cool. I mean, listen, man, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And now, have you done? This is number 3. So you've done a couple of more before this.
Yeah. So the first, and those are part of the reward tiers. If you want, you can. I say catch up, but you don't really need them. But if you like it, you can get them. So the first one was with Luke Stone from his book Hybrids. So it was Trash Man and my character Starstruck. And then the second issue was called Girls on Fire. It was all female. So 4 females from 4 of our different creators' title. They team up for this mission. This island is about to blow up from this volcano. So they got to evacuate people and they have to work together. And they were all there for different purposes and they all team up. And so that was the second issue. So this is the third one.
Very nice. So yeah, $418, $700 goal. He's got a little bit of hustle to do, but you can make it.
Sure.
You got 17 days. You got plenty of time. So you're gonna hit that at probably a second stretch goal at least.
Yep. We got extra covers. We got another cover that we're gonna show. I actually just got it today, so I'm gonna add that. There'll be a variant cover. It'll be a virgin cover, so there'll be no
Yeah, no copy.
title band. Yeah.
All right, cool. Listen, it looks really nice. All right, very nice.
Thank you.
Everybody, go check it out. Go buy a book.
Great.
Go get a T-shirt. You got a chance to get the first 4 people.
Yep.
Get a
Yep.
You know. All righty. Now we're gonna look at if I can ever find it. Oh, there we go. Damn, Jason, you were hitting for me. There we go.
Ah,
Tell us about Knocked.
Oh, this is mine. Okay. Yeah, it's like this is
Oh,
familiar.
Aaron. I'm sorry, Aaron.
No, it's okay. No. So yeah, this is my Knock series issue 1, 2, and then I put some prints on it. This is my store, so I don't do Kickstarter. I just kind of do the store. And then if you go down, I have my graphic novel Godlings. You can buy all 12 issues, or you can buy the big 300-page massive book.
Yeah.
This one omnibus. So that's what I have. I used to have kids' book. I'm looking to get those reprinted. Those are out of print because I only have 1 copy of each in my house right now. And I will have issue 3 or the 3rd story of Knocked up soon. And he's just I like Halloween, I like Barbarian, so I just mixed the two. And so they're more, I don't know, they're kind of humorous, kid friendly. And so yeah.
what's the 3rd one about? The one that's
the 3rd
coming
one is them hunting vampires.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if you can share the screen. I don't even know if I can get this. I can show you the interior pages, 2 interior pages I have done. He fights.
You can share it on your end. I can pull it up.
Okay. Let me see here. Isn't the share button the plus share screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Let me share screen. Yeah. Share screen. Okay, should work. Select the window. We will go with this window. Let's see here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Probably not. Probably you still see yourselves, do you? Okay. No, it's okay. Anyway, yeah, I have other stuff. So he's hunting vampires, and I like to do twists. So the vampire in the new book is actually made of kind of liquid blood.
Mhm.
So they actually need blood to keep their body intact.
sweet.
And so, like, I have one with Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, which if you go back, you can do. That's the one with the dog. The one with the dog running. So if you click on that, and I think if you go into the pages, I think I put there's some of the interior pages. And so I don't know if I think I put my 2-tone, but it's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, so it's a 2-headed. One side's Jekyll, one side's Hyde. They call them Jekyll and Hydes. So they're actually like a species. Okay, so I didn't put it up there. I kept that secret. And so I like to take twists on Halloween monsters. The next one I am doing after this one is the Headless Horseman. And so his whole thing is he just thinks people look ugly. They look better with pumpkin heads. So he just goes around and has his minion smash pumpkins on your head. And if it's on there for like a few minutes, like 2-3 minutes, you turn into like one of his little, they call it grinning jacks. And so he kind of becomes like a little enemy. You'll see him reoccurring. But this is just short stories. He's in the forest looking for food. He's always looking for food. He finds a skull in the dirt. He's trying to roll its way to a graveyard to reunite with his loved one. And he decides to carry the skull to the graveyard in exchange for food. It doesn't always go as planned, but that's what that is. So yeah, he's battling undead knights and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my story. My Godlings is different. That's more about philosophy and stuff, and that's the same little kind of different art style. If you go inside, you can see not the same. The colors are a little muted. I think I have some. Yeah, these are some random pages, but they're a little different, a little more muted and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and that story is just about 3 gods who don't want to be gods or teenagers. So they leave the realm of the gods and end up causing just a lot of chaos. And it goes through some other stuff. JD's read it. But yeah, it goes through some other stuff. But it's more of a kind of be careful what you wish for, I guess. I try to do. And so, yeah. Right now, I'm just doing Knocked because it allows me to basically just focus on making my stories, not having to hurry to get it out at a certain time frame and stuff. So yeah, I know. I usually print 25 copies and throw it up in my store, and then when I sell out, I usually either print new ones or call it good and take it off my store. So
all right, cool. All right, look, they look like a lot of fun. You know, I would always suggest going to get them. Like you said, you can't go
Well,
wrong
after
with them.
issue 4, I'll get a graphic novel out for you, JD, so you can have it.
Yeah, he got some really interesting ideas, man. To be honest,
Thank you.
The way that you attack those the monsters and stuff, they're really interesting.
Yeah, I have the werewolves. One of my out that do that. So instead of man being affected by a wolf, it's wolf being affected by man. So they're centaur werewolves. They grow human appendages, so they're kind of irritated by that.
Right.
Just I do twists on it, just playing around with ideas.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Thank you.
All right, now we got Lords of the Cosmos. Jason, now, do you want to play this video?
I should unmute myself. Yeah, you're more than welcome to play the video. That's what it's there for. Yeah, give it a play.
The Cosmos Unite. The critically acclaimed comic book series by Jason Lenox, Dennis Fallon, and Jason Palmatier returns with issue 5. Welcome back to Planet Aiden, a land where banished Greek gods, undead unicorns, cannibal cyborgs, and a vengeful dominatrix all wage war over a world run by a planet-sized machine. Lords of the Cosmos, issue 5. Featuring 3 mind-bending stories on 44 pages in classic black and white. Heroes are summoned and villains betrayed. New dark alliances as the main storyline continues in Enemy of My Enemy. Arch-villain Zemba's daily routine of decadence, torture, and sadism is turned upside down in A Day in the Life, when domination and introspection collide. During the First Cosmic War, a group of Lords of the Cosmos commandos go deep behind enemy lines to discover the disciples of Ume, Pulse, Part 1. Inspired by 1980s favorites like Masters of the Universe, 2000 AD, and Heavy Metal Magazine. Lords of the Cosmos 5 features a variety of unique variant covers of L.C. Freitas, Caesar, and Ignacio Ragnarsson. See why Indy Comics Dispatch says Lords of the Cosmos pulls all the stuff while managing to also create something new and unique. And behold, the Geek says Lords of the Cosmos is an insane fantasy comic that takes no prisoners. Back Lords of the Cosmos issue 5, now on Indiegogo.
All right, cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So this book, it funded last year on Kickstarter. All the rewards for that got put out in the mail and shipped out by June. And then we had some extra stuff with some variant covers. And I started to get involved with making some black and white covers. So there's some things that are unique to Indiegogo, but this project's kind of been out the door for me for a while. But I do think there is some value in trying a different crowdfunding platform. You might catch some people that missed it. Some people like different platforms better. So I just got this launched right after they did their merger with GameFound. So it's been an experience to put it out on a different platform. But yeah.
All right, cool. Now, how different do you find it between the two separate platforms?
I think Indiegogo has some interesting features. They did create some problems for me. My friend Tara helped me put it all together, and we had everything ready to go. And then we actually talked to Indiegogo about it, and they were like, "Hey, wait till we rebrand it and relaunch. Your campaign will be there." And then it was kind of like the whole thing got reformatted, so we had to take a little bit of time to kind of put it back together. It was all there. But I like their platform. I don't know that it has the reach of Kickstarter, but that's cool. I never viewed it as my primary platform. But yeah, I think it's got some cool stuff about it. One thing that I do like about Indiegogo is that they do have a pre-launch reward program where you can build in a discount or a reward for somebody for following the project and then backing it.
Cool.
So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, real quick summary. I love black and white comics. I love 2000 AD. I love Heavy Metal Magazine. And Lords of the Cosmos has always kind of tried to stay true to those formats where each issue has multiple stories. So it's an anthology with different writers, different artists playing with our characters. And I always do the main story, and the main story kind of connects. It's like an ongoing, through each issue that you got to keep following along with it. And then the other stories, most of them are standalone. And then we introduced one in issue 5. It's the first part of a small multi-part action story that'll probably be about 100 pages long as we put it in either 3 or 4 issues as it plays out. So hopefully we'll get that done in the next couple of years, right? I wish I could get it done faster, but it always seems like it's slower than I want it to be.
Right.
Yeah. Like you producing what, maybe an issue a year?
It's about 1.5 years, it seems, between issues. That seems to be the average. Issue 5, I think, took a lot longer. I don't think I know, because I kind of went back and started cleaning up a lot of formatting issues and rebuilding some of the artwork and cover for some of the old issues. As sometimes we all get too involved with old things, and then we wanted to get them up to the standard of the newer stuff. I'm sure none of you have ever done that. So I'm hoping to get issue 6 out sooner than it took to get issue 5 out, because that was a lot more work than just issue 5.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now, are you looking to do this just for as long as you're going to do it? Do you foresee, like, you're going to stop at issue 12 or issue 15 or something, or is it just going to just keep going until it,
I think there's going to be about 10 to 12 total issues. So like 10 or 11 plus an issue 0, and then it's going to end. Like, there was always an end in sight for this project. Cool. So I do want to bring it to its conclusion and then wrap it up. But like I said, try to tell the main story where it needs to go. Overall, probably 12 total issues. So I probably got about 7 more. So it's gonna be a while to get it all done. But there is an end in sight. I don't want it to just endlessly go on with no ending.
Right.
Very nice. Very nice.
It's funny, some of the aliens and stuff. When you said Lords of the Cosmos, I keep thinking the old toy line Power Lords. Very obscure.
Yeah.
I remember
some of the aliens and stuff reminded me of that.
Yeah, that was a weird toy line. I remember this. Is that they had like a face and a body in the back of their body. It was kind of a weird.
Yeah, that was designed by. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it was designed by Wayne Barlow. I don't know if you know who Wayne Barlow is.
Yep,
he's
Wayne. Haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah, right. He's an old artist. Yeah, old. He did concept work and stuff. And, yeah, they drew him in to design this toy line, and so he does crazy alien illustrations as is. So the toys were just as nuts.
Yeah.
Well,
also it reminds me a little bit of Lords of the Ultra Realm. If you guys know, Pat Broderick did that back in the. Yeah, 86, I think, for DC Comics. It was a fantasy short. It was a short fantasy series. It was really good too.
Surprised I haven't reprinted it.
It's funny because Pat Broderick, he did this comic called Sunrunners, right?
Yep.
And I found an issue of it, and I kind of told him. I guess he hadn't seen an issue of that for years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I have all of those. Even the ones he didn't do, I have them. Sunrunners.
Oh, Sunrunners was sweet.
That was a great book. Yeah, but this, Jason Aaron, as always. You guys are sitting next to each other, so I'm getting messed up.
Okay.
Look, Jason, the stuff always looks great. Sorry.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, everybody go check it out. It's on Indiegogo, different platforms, so you never know. I mean, I would always suggest checking it out. So great stuff.
Thanks, JD.
Listen, man.
Yeah, it was interesting. Definitely interesting.
Yeah, but Jason, one day we're gonna have to get together and just do a weeaboo show? Just do an anime show.
It makes you on that
too. There's so much amazing new anime right now, and then we're also in kind of a golden era with a lot of older titles getting higher end re-releases. So I kind of feel like I'm sorry, what Mark?
As long as it's not Lensman, we're good to go.
Oh, man, come on. I love
Yeah.
Lensman. I miss that one.
no, boo, can't do that.
Still trapped in legal limbo, Lensman. One day I believe it will get re-released, but no, man, there's so much awesome stuff right now. Like you said, new stuff, old stuff getting brought back.
Yeah.
For anime fans, it really is. It's an embarrassment of riches these days.
Right. I got a friend of mine put me on to Dan to Dan, and I was like, that just sounds ridiculously stupid. And I started watching, and it was ridiculously stupid, but hilariously fun.
Dan to Dan's amazing. The other one I just got turned on to that's amazing. It's just got put on Netflix. It's called Freerin Journey's End. That's amazing.
Yep.
Was that there's one? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, AD.
No. I was watching Freerin. I watched it, and I'm reading the manga. So
nice.
There was that the one with the person ended the quest and then they finished it and now I've heard of that one. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I just want to make sure that. Yeah,
it's great. Kaiju number 8's amazing. Gachiataka is another one that I've just picked up on.
That's dope too. I'm watching that too.
Yeah, that's that I don't know. There's so much that's good right now that it's just really, really amazing.
The final season of My Hero Academia is pretty intense.
Oh, they finally ended it. I think it's been on forever.
Yeah.
Did any of you catch Solo Leveling? Did you catch that?
No, but I
watched
episodes. I had time to finish it. I watched a couple episodes.
It's a basic concept, but it's like done to perfection, and it was one of the best cliffhanger animes I think I've ever seen. I can't wait for more of it. But anyway, sorry to hijack the show with
that's right, because none of it is as good as Judah Fist. So
oh no, man! I got a couple things to say here, man. Well, so this is my web. When we do web comics, we also do print comics. This is my web comic, Judah Fist: 7 Deaths of the Yobi. It's a Afro-futuristic kind of cyberpunk deal where this guy wakes up. He's a bioweapon. He wakes up in 2072, finds out that he has some orphan relatives. And the people he was fighting back in our time are still alive, and they got more power, governmental power, than they had back in the day. So he has to protect these kids from these people. And he also finds out that the conspiracy is much larger than it was back in our time.
Oh, so it's grown. The conspiracy's grown.
Yeah, the conspiracy has grown. It's worldwide. There's a world government called Trinity that's in cahoots with these guys. And he ends up palling up with this group of what they call situation consultants, body hunters, skip tracers, stuff like that. And they end up going through this odyssey and to try to topple this shadowy government.
Cool.
It looks cool. I like the artwork.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's funny. Mark T was talking about 23 years. I've been working on this. I started this as a superhero comic when I was 13, and then I transitioned it over to sci-fi. Just from watching like Ghost in the Shell and stuff like that, I was like, I like sci-fi too.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is a web comic, and then this is our first web comic, and we also have a web comic. If you look at I think I put a link in there called the extras. In there,
is that
should be at the bottom.
Is that the video?
No, that ain't the video. It's just the web comic, and the video is the first one I sent you.
Gotcha. So where's that link?
It should be at the bottom in the studio chat. It should be the extras web comic.
Gotcha. Let me stop sharing this. You want me to play that video?
Yeah, let's play video last because this is probably a little quicker.
Gotcha. All right, give me a second.
It should be the extras comicseries.com. All right, so this is our web comic, The Extras. It's about these four young women who go to this girls' school. And, it's a slice of life where, these girls go through certain things, a little capers and whatnot, mishaps. But the girls, it's very diverse. And when I mean diverse, I mean very diverse. All the girls aren't human. And they go to the girls' school in this huge place we got called the city. and the girls' school doesn't stay put along. It's basically like this: the girls' school teleports from place to place.
Oh, interesting.
Right. So my buddy Jeff Lilly, who's our editor-in-chief at Imaginos, him, Katie Hodges, and Pam Bliss do this webcomic. We actually put this webcomic out as a series of graphic novels when we get enough pages. So he's been on time every Friday for the last 5 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, so we got volume 4 just came out. So I mean, again, we're really proud. This is probably our flagship book, to be honest, too.
So is this like are those the prints are available? The print copies?
Yeah, the prints are available. We're just putting it up on we usually sell them at cons, but we're just starting to put that stuff up on Indie Planet.
Okay.
Yeah, so that should be up on Indie Planet probably in about 2-3 weeks.
All right.
Does the school move through time and?
Say
Does
again?
the school move through time and space? Just
No,
space?
just through space, but it goes all over the place, man.
Does
It's
the
crazy.
school move through time?
Oh no, it doesn't move through time at all, just space.
There's different locations. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
there's different locations, but through like a multiversal different locations. kind of like a big TARDIS, except for it don't move through time.
So this is like what? You have about 250 pages at this point?
Yeah, we got about 250 pages. And again, every Friday, been on time. Another one should be up. Another one came up this last Friday.
All right, cool. This is awesome. I mean, yeah, let me know when it goes up on Indie Planet.
Yeah, sure, no doubt. And then the video, you definitely don't play. The whole video is long, but you definitely want to play all of it. That's I'll wait till you pull it up. All right, so the video is for our. I'm the art director over at Shining Otaku. We own a piece of it. It's a manga. It's a manga creation company. The video is for our first manga anthology called Origami Super Punch. You can go ahead and play it.
What's up, Shining Otaku? Today, like I said to you guys the other day, and we've been saying for a little bit now, Origami Super Punch is coming to you. So today is the announcement on when you can expect to get Origami Super Punch. But before I do that, I want to actually show you Origami Super Punch. Okay, here you have it. You have Origami Super Punch here, 94 pages, 7 different stories. All of these stories ongoing and all by different creators, all that have put in a lot of time work into their stories and put a lot of power into the writing. This is the most dangerous manga magazine. I'm going to tell you why we call this the most dangerous. Basically, the stories in here, they don't just come straight to the heart, but we have heavy-hitting topics in here. We have topics that touch on even some political crises, the things that go on today. You know, some people write stories about, for example, myself, I write a hip-hop battle rap manga, so I touch on cultural topics. We have stories about Black mental health in here with the story Third Winter, written by Che Baker. We have even a story that touches on romance, a story that touches on 2 best friends fighting depression together. So it's an amalgam of different creations here. But I just want you guys to take a look at a lot of the hard work and a lot of the art that you see in this book. You know, a lot of the dedication, even to the lettering, or, you know, what you're looking at here is just, all of these creators have just put in not only a lot of time and effort, but we've had an editorial team that's really tried to make sure that you guys have gotten really good content here that's coming out. We're actually a lot further than what this print copy is. There is some of you out here who may actually have a copy of Origami Super Punch already if you've gone to conventions and picked one up from us. But basically, what we have now is that the copies that are coming out are the ones that we're going to have here online, and the quality of these copies are pristine. You know, we're actually,
you can stop it now, Jay.
We're actually putting.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Origami Super Punch, like I said, it's our anthology series. Really proud of it. We took a while to pull it together. We're working on Origami Super Punch number 2 right now. It's up on Indie Planet 2 right now. If you guys want to go check it out. I mean, again, you know, I talked about earlier about liking to be able to have platform for people, and that's one of the main reasons we started Origami Super Punch, because we want to have a platform for mangaka, you know, out here You know, because basically that's how they do it in Japan, right? That's what
Yeah.
Shonen Jump is. That's what, you know, the stuff like that. We want to have our kind of like a short Shonen Jump. So that's Imaginos Workshop Shine Taku. You know, come check us out.
All right. So, Mark,
Yeah.
what is your hate on for Lensman? I don't understand.
Man, it's just, again, dude. I read the books, right, and they were kind of liberal in not putting some stuff in there.
Oh, all right. But you're talking about the CC Beck, right?
Yeah, I read the books, man. Right, the books were a lot more
Oh.
interesting than the anime.
Oh, okay. I've never read the books. Okay, you know, yeah. All right, that's
Right.
fair. That's fair. I get it.
Right,
I get it.
right.
But I really do
It
like.
looked good though. It was pretty.
Yeah, it looked good. I like.
It
I like
looked
the anime.
good, but
You know. I mean, I was like 18, 19 when I saw it, so you know.
it looked good.
All right. Yeah, I got you. All right. So here we go. But now we got designated. All right. So Mark, Torres, what are we looking at?
So it is my book, 30 Years in the Making. Issue 1 has been done. I finally have it right here in my hand. It's about two warring alien races fighting over a newly discovered power source to find its way to planet Earth. As a result, some humans gain abilities. The cover is done by Russ Braun, who does the boys. We have the inks by Peter Palmiotti, that's Jimmy's brother. The story is fully done, and issue 1 is fully finished. The inks are still being worked on. So Peter, if you're watching, get on that horse for issue 3. Issue 2 should be coming out next year, fingers crossed. And we actually turned this into a radio play and performed it at New York Comic Con.
Oh, yeah, that's sweet.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Nice. I think that's this. So you've been working. Is it going to be a 5 issue?
That was at the East Middle Public Library.
So
it's a 5-issue limited series, beginning, middle, end. The full story is all done.
Cool. Mark, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I mean, the other Mark.
Oh, you do Mark G.
I'm here.
So crowdfunder. Why?
You got all quiet for a second.
Yeah.
So we actually had the guy on our show.
Mm-hmm.
And I really just like the way it's very Mark friendly because I'm really bad at technology, and it was really easy for me to use. I like how it works, and the fact that you don't have to sign up to buy the book. You don't have to be a member of Kickstarter. You don't have to do anything. You just go there, press the button, and you can put any information. You can buy the book right away.
Oh, cool.
Very nice. All right.
So
Mark, what is this platform?
And you can play the little video if you want.
this is crowdfunder.
This
sorry.
is a crowdfunder.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks.
Enjoy the amazing Trauma Presents comic book premiere of Mr. Mark Torres, comic book called Designated. It's going to be an amazing event in 2023.
All right. So cool. So, another one. Go check it out. This is a good book. And Mark, so you said the second issue next year?
It's
Mark
looking
Torres?
like a second issue is going to happen next year. It's just getting the money for the cover, but the process is being put together now. The book is being put together without the cover, and the letters are done. Inks are done for issue 2. My editor is actually working on it right now. If you're watching, get to work, and they're putting it all together. So it's going to be ready to go for next year.
All
Did
right.
you like
Unless I win
using
the lottery, then it'll
crowdfunder,
be done
Mark?
tomorrow.
Mark, did you like crowdfunder? Did you
Do
like
like using crowdfunder. I do like it a lot. I tried I tried Kickstarter, and it really wasn't for me because I'm like, it was just a little like I said, it wasn't Mark friendly, so my technology knowledge is very limited, and I'm like, I don't really know if I care for this much. But the crowdfunder, it just seemed really simple and easy for me to use. The only thing is that there's just not enough of a draw to crowdfunder.
Sure.
But other than that, if all my friends and family who aren't into comics, I can be like, oh, go buy my comic. Here's a link. They'll just go straight. They don't have to do anything else. It's not as confusing for a non-comic book person to get. That's why I like it.
All right, fair enough. I'll pull up my campaign real quick. This is Fallen Gods, a trade paperback. It's 140 pages. This is full color. This was actually the very first Oswald comic that I had done with Jade Gonzalez. I'm figuring about 12 years ago, maybe 14 years ago.
Are these the ones where you're recoloring them?
No.
Okay.
These are the original colors by Liz Buenaventura,
Okay.
who eventually went on to work for, I think she's done work for IDW and Boom and Zenoscope.
Okay.
But I think this might have been one of her first coloring jobs on this book. So, and yeah, the only thing I'm doing with this now to touch on what Jason was saying before is I am not relettering, but I'm reformatting all of the old lettering from one font to another. And I've been doing that for the last week, and it's been driving me nuts.
Yeah, I want to say something. Going back and reworking on work that's already done,
yeah,
it is painful.
Mhm.
So I have compassion for anyone that's going through that. I understand why you want to do it, because we talked about, what's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, you change, right? Like, that's the one thing we didn't, we're all changing and hopefully growing and getting better. And then you go back and you look at your old stuff and you're like, geez, why didn't I do my margins and gutters better? Hey, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? And then there is an urge sometimes to go back and like bring it up to like a quality standard to what you're doing today. It's painful.
Yeah, it is, because I'm literally changing it's 140 pages. I started a week ago. I'm up to page 90, and it's like, and I have, and it's and it's funny because, normally I would promote it just a little bit more, even though I'm not really a promotion guy. But I've been so focused on that, I haven't really been promoting. But it's okay. I've already funded. We're fine. We got another 7 days. I think I'll make it over 2K at some point, hopefully, and we'll go from there. So there it is. Go check it out. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled program.
You understand George Lucas a little bit more.
What?
I understand when he was retconning the old Star Wars.
I said
films.
now you understand George Lucas a little more.
Mark C, your question.
My question is this: what is different from you guys' expectation when you got into indie comics as opposed to how you see it now?
Listen, Mark, can you repeat that?
I said, what is different from your expectations when you got into indie comics as opposed to how you see the medium now?
Okay, that's fair. Joe, you're up.
It's like, we all grew up with probably, Image Comics on the rise, Wizard Magazine, and we're seeing, this was when you would see the creators rise and saying, oh, I can do that. Oh, that's how they do that technique. Oh, now I know how, and like, oh, I want to be like Jim Lee. I want to be like Todd McFarlane and, young creators coming up. And now, Marvel and DC, they won't even put the artist's name on the cover. They don't want to give them that power over the company. They don't want to say, oh, I want to get that Joe Madureira book. I want to get, they want you to just buy that Green Lantern book. They don't want you to follow the artist, or even the writer. They just want you to follow the brand. So, we always wanted to draw better or write better or learn the right technique. Now, if you have, a Twitter or X following that's gigantic, they'll give you the money to make your book. They want your social media following to be gigantic. And then you do a Kickstarter, boom, it's funded. You want to get into this company, boom, they see. And we're growing up and we just want to write better and produce better, color better, produce a better book. And now it's a whole different mentality. People waiting in line to have their portfolio reviewed. Do you have this big following and then want to do a comic? Well, then you're greenlit. Then you're good. So that's the huge change. We never prepared for any of that. We just prepared to learn how to make really professional looking comics, how to increase our skill. That's what we learned our whole life. And now we did that. And now they're like, yeah, no, that's not important. Your social media following is what's important. We're like, we already used all our brain cells up on learning how to draw and how to letter and how to, set up a comic for a printer. That was hard enough. You want us to be like social media Mongols, and now then you got like, that's what's changed. I mean, that's the different thing.
All right, cool. Aaron, what are your thoughts?
That's big. Well, when I got into, it was back with the like Ninja Turtle and black and white craze, and wanting to do that stuff. And I always thought, and this is going to be a weird analogy, I always thought independent comics as the fine art of comics. In other words, the idea of like when I went to I got education at fine art school, and they had all the ideas. The idea was the concept, the push. So they did like Ninja Turtles and all this crazy, weird stuff, like even like Dark Horse did Concrete and like Roach Mill, and I saw like Alien Legion, that was Marvel.
Mhm.
There was really weird, unique ideas, and it was the idea itself that I thought was interesting. And it seemed like Marvel and DC had superheroes, so they kind of stay in that realm. Independent could just go wild and do whatever they wanted. But I've seen now where I come to independent comics now, what I started then is I know there's not what they call working in the void, where I think that happened to a lot of creators, especially movie makers like Lucas and Spielberg back in the early 80s, is that they were inspired by books and stuff they read, but they weren't continuously bombarded with constant ideas like the internet and TV or whatever. So they were able to work a little bit in a void. They were able to work just creating up stuff with their own instead of constantly, oh, I want to do that. I look at that internet, I want to do that. There wasn't so many distractions and stuff coming in. They brought in what they liked, and they were able to sit by themselves in a void and make up stuff of their own. And I think a lot of time creators don't do that or don't have the ability to do that because there's so much crap coming at it. So now everything starts looking homogenized. It's all like the same stuff kind of done over and over. And that independent spirit of independent comics, I feel, has been lost. Because they're not trying to be independent, they're trying to catch the next wave of whatever craze or the next buck or whatever. And to me, it's just getting boring. That's what I like. I like independent comics, but a lot of it's just getting boring because it's like, okay, I've seen that, done that, seen that, done that. They can do whatever they want. I just want to be able to see unique things. Like I picked up a book, and this is an underground comic, so take it as it is. Vaughn Bodie's Dead Bone. Have you guys ever heard of this? He did like a comic. Yeah. But it was, just rereading that, it was so unique because this guy, even though he probably had a few drugs running through his system, did create something that completely unique and different. Something I can't even figure out half of what he's talking about, which is half the fun.
Right.
You will never see that in comics now. You will never see that. They will know what you will never see. He created his own way these characters talked, his own language and rhythm of language that I've never seen. You won't ever see that in comics nowadays. This is like Anthony Mackie was talking about. He did a great interview on Hollywood when they were asking him, would we ever get Goonies or any of these old movies? He's like, it never happened. Never happened. He's like, what Goonies we made today? It's like, won't ever happen. Because there's no bank guarantee of money return. They're not going to take a chance on an unknown if they put so much money on the line. And that to me is what disappoints me in independent comics, because there is no money on the line. We're all broke, right? We're not getting paid. So there's no excuse not to just go wild and do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That's why people go you're not. There's a Halloween and Barbarians. I'm like, dude, that should be common. It shouldn't be unique at all. And so that's why winning comics, it's like, well, anything can go on. And I kind of came out going, well, nothing really happened in the interim getting to here. This was some really cool stuff, but a lot of it's just kind of been homogenized or whatever. And it's just, that's why I think people unfortunately lean towards manga, because now they got guys with chainsaws coming out of their heads and stuff. So they're doing some weird stuff. And I do think there is an innate curiosity when you see something weird and unique, like, well, what's that? American independent comics is still kind of getting into that glut. I think we can get out of it. I don't think this is permanent. I mean, I think we're push our way out of it, but I just think maybe turn off the internet, go sit in a room and just stare out the window and think about your idea instead of researching your idea online. Let your imagination take over. Be unique.
So you want acid trip comics?
Basically, yeah. Not so much acid trip. I'm just like, I've told people like you should read Alien Agent. You know how many people I've met that have no idea what that comic is? None.
Which is really sad.
It is.
Sad. It really is sad because the writing is on point.
It is.
And Larry Stroman and Frank, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Sirico?
Yeah. Yeah. They were all great. I mean, such cool ideas, and they're just like, no, I don't. You don't. I don't know what that is. I'm like, okay. So, but there have been some cool ideas. You just gotta hunt these things down. They're still out there. Like I did one called Joanna and the something monsters or whatever. That was really well done. And then I did this one called Cythera, where the guy mixed kids books with comic books together. It's like a 5-part series. I'd never seen this. I got all of them, and it's like formatted like a kid's book and a comic book. I can't remember who put it out, but they're gorgeous books. And I'm like, but that's a rare find to me. Independent, that should be the norm. And so, anyway,
that's fair. Jason, what are your thoughts?
So what was the question again? Could we restate it?
Here, well, let me reiterate the question. The question is, what is different from your expectations when you got into indie comics as opposed to how you see it now?
Nothing has changed, because I would have told you years ago that if you're doing this to get famous or rich, it's probably not going to happen. And that you should only do this if you actually enjoy it and you enjoy making it. So anything that comes beyond your personal enjoyment is a bonus. And I would have told you that years ago, and I would tell you the same thing today. I've made some money making books, which is cool. It's not my primary source of income. So whether it makes a little bit or a lot, it's great. I just don't want it to lose money, which is cool. But no, it's exactly the same. Like, do it because you truly enjoy it. Make the books you want to see, make the books you'd want to read, have fun doing it, get enjoyment out of it. And that's been my expectation. So it hasn't changed.
Right.
All right, cool. Mark T. What are your thoughts?
So I guess when I started, I was like, I want to work for Marvel. I want to work for DC. I want to be in the part of the big company. And the only way to do that is to get an independent book out there so people can see it and find out, work my way into the big company. Now I'm like, I just want to tell my story. And I really do not want to work for Marvel or DC. I just want to keep on making my own stuff.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
For myself, the big differences between what I've seen in indie comics when I started and now is that back then, when I was starting, I could sell 6,000 books out the gate through the various distributors that we had, in place, probably about 14 of them. And today, even if you get through into one of the catalogs, you might sell, if you're lucky, 1,500 books, maybe 2,000, and that's if you're lucky, right? Most of the people I'm hearing from, they're selling 700, 800 books,
right.
So I mean, yeah, that's the big difference. The only thing is that the market is opening up a little bit more, with Universal coming in. We already got a couple of these other companies out there, but it's tough, especially since a lot of the companies don't want to deal with single publishers. Guys who are just doing their own books or whatever, like the single, your own single thing. If you don't have a line of books, they're typically not going to be interested in you.
Right.
Plus you got to have the marketing plan and all that stuff and the capitalization to back it all up. So, I don't have that kind of money. I don't know about you guys.
Right.
So, Mark C., answer your question.
Well, no, again, what I saw, my expectation, again, I started out back in the 90s and whatnot, earlier, like really the 80s. And, I was glamored by, the John Byrne, Jim Lees and guys like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I can draw. I was going to college at the time. And, I still, even though I was about to graduate, I still kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do, right? And so comics kind of became because I could draw, it became kind of maybe I can do this or whatever. You know, I graduated during a recession too, so that was like 92, whatever. So it was like couldn't find a job, all sorts of stuff, right? But what I kind of, as I'm starting to look at it then as opposed to now, we talked about the flea market aspect. I didn't know that was coming until I started going to cons a lot. One.
Yeah.
And number two, just watching, because of social media, this get the bag mentality, as the young folks say, you know. Gotta try to get the bag, you know. And I think that a lot of that is not grounded in realism, because I think that a lot of people who are out here somewhat getting the bag aren't being truthful. You know, they're not being truthful at all. You know, just like everything else on social media is smoke and mirrors at the end of the day. You know, basically, you know, I'm gonna fake it till I make it, you know. So, I mean, again, it all comes back down to people trying to do stuff for other people instead of trying to do it for themselves. That make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
All right, cool. All right, look. Joe, do you want to step out now, or do you want to?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Because
No,
Joe,
we're not kicking you out.
No, I'm not kicking you out. No. But you know, I know you wrote me a letter. You said you had to go, which is cool.
Yeah. So somebody invited me on their show. They're drawing a cover for me live, which is James Newen, who does Alpha Red. And he said, "Oh, you got to come on the show doing the cover." And I'm like, "Oh, I will. Let me try and do that."
Yeah, right.
Maybe I can put my 7-year-old to bed too at the same time.
Let everybody know where they can find you and your work real quick.
So go to our link for our Starcross team up, and go to Starcross Comics to see all the projects we're working on. We have like over 40 titles. We're always doing something new, and you know, check us out on social media. We're always putting something out. Support our campaign. We'll have more coming up. Another one coming next month or mid-month.
All right, cool.
Thank you for having me. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
love your projects. Thank you so much, guys.
Joe,
Take
have
care.
a good one.
Yeah.
Best of luck with the campaign.
Yeah, nice to
Thank
meet you.
you. Thank
All right,
you.
man. I'll talk to you soon. Anytime you want to come on, you let me know.
Thank you so much.
All right, take it easy, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so listen, guys. Here's a question I got for all of you. It was funny because I write all these out in the morning, usually Sunday morning before I wake up and I start writing these damn questions. This is the last one I wrote, so I figured, oh, this is kind of interesting. What piece of advice do you regret taking? Right, because we've all got pieces of advice, right? But what's a piece of advice you regret taking? All right.
I don't think I'm allowed to say.
Well, I mean, within indie comics, all right. Let's let let's keep the rest of that.
No, I mean, I don't think I'm allowed to say.
Oh, okay. Why would you? Well, you don't have to mention names. You know what I mean? You can, try. Don't mention any names. But Jason, what are your thoughts?
I think the only piece of advice that I took years ago, and I did one of them, was doing a sketch card for I don't remember who it was anymore. It was like doing a sketch card of War of the Worlds. And I thought that they were kind of it was a lot of work for kind of a big waste of time. And I did one, and I was like, I never want to do that again. And I thanked the person that told me to do it. And years later, they were like, "Yeah, I think they're a waste of time." And I'm like, "Yeah, they seem to be a waste of time. It's a little, make a couple dollars to get a little piece of art that you got to put a lot of time into." And again, I did it. I thought it was a waste of time immediately. Finished one, and then I'm like, I'm out. I don't hear as much about those little cards anymore. But they never seem like a good idea to me.
Gotcha. All right, cool. What's funny is Mark Torres and I have a mutual friend, and I haven't spoken to him in a minute, but is Brian still doing the sketch cards? Mark?
Brian Kahn, yes.
Kahn, yes.
Brian Kahn, yes.
Yes. He's still doing it? Okay, yeah. Because Brian Kong,
Yes.
he would be banging out with like 50 a weekend or 100 a weekend. It's crazy the amount of them he would do because he would just bang them out. That dude is like a workhorse, you know. So, but that's the only way you make any money doing that stuff. Aaron, what do you think about that question? What piece of advice do you regret taking?
I regret, and I don't remember if I remember doing much with it. This is gonna be because I know it's like common, being my age and maybe my generation I'm from. It was one. I have a friend who loves giving me all sorts of comic advice, and every time I meet him, he's like, "Gotta do this and this." And if I took every advice this guy'd have, I just wouldn't sleep. And so one was like, "We got to show yourself instead, comic. You got to be a personality." And I remember attempting it. I don't remember if I ever posted anything. I remember trying to do that, and I'm just like, dude, I don't really want to sell myself on media. It seems weird to me to put all this work in my comic and like, okay, forget about the comic. Look at my face.
Yep.
Who the fuck cares about me? Okay, if I'm gonna make a comic book, all the focus should be in the comic book, not my ass behind the comic. What do you care about me? I'm just a normal dude, doing the same work everyone else does. So I quit doing that. I'm like, okay, that's just stupid. And so I just started focusing on my comic, regardless of trying to be some sort of personality to try to sell my comic. It just wasn't in me. I remember trying to like record myself drawing, and then I was like, no, that's just dumb. But because there's 1,000,000,001 videos of people drawing, and they're kind of fun, but I mean, you just kind of watch them and then you just kind of move on. They don't even do anything for me. So I'm like, no, I'm just gonna make my comic and publish it, put it out. So that was me. I think JD's the same way. I'm not a big social media person. If I could do without it, I would. I'd never touch it again. It just doesn't really do anything for me. I forget all the time to make posts. I mean, months go by, I'm like, oh, I guess I should post shit or something. I don't know. I forget all the time. And so I'm just like, I come on these shows once in a while and I'm just like, you can find my comic if you want it, fine. If not, I got a day job. I got money coming in.
Right.
So I'm horrible at marketing, just like most artists are. But yeah, I'm more of a private person, so I just wasn't really into selling myself, and I just that was probably my biggest advice. I was like, no, just back in my comic book stuff. That was it.
That's fair. Mark C, what are your thoughts?
Something recently, I would say fairly recently. I had a bunch of people tell me, because I used to do graffiti and stuff too, right? So I had a bunch of people tell me that my Judafist logo was unreadable and I should change it. And so I listened to them for a minute. But then after I listened to them, I had other people telling me, man, why you change the logo, man? That logo was dope. You know what I mean? So I changed it back. But again, not believing in my own vision is something that I learned from that lesson from that.
If they complain, just show them a bunch of heavy metal logos. Most of them will completely
right. Show me, So Then I had a woman. She's passed away. She's a really strong community activist here in my city. God rest her soul. She did live a lot, so I respect her a lot, right? So she told me when I was teaching, I teach classes and stuff. I'm taking a break right now, but I teach classes at like the local comic shop. So kids come in, I teach them. I just go through a semester and teach them the whole spiel about doing comics, writing, drawing, all that stuff, right? I do it for free because when I was younger, I didn't have anybody to do that. So I said, I'm going to do this, right? She was like, man, you should be charging, man. People don't respect nothing, man. If it's free. And, thank goodness I did not listen to her.
Yeah.
But she was adamant. You should be charged. And I'm like, hey, man, look, I'm doing this for free for my own reasons. I respect, what you're saying. But again, I got to walk in my own shoes and I got to walk my own path. So that's basically, I think, what the thing that I'm glad that, I listened to for a minute. Then I was like, nah.
All right, cool. Mark Torres, what are your thoughts on the question?
All right, so I'm gonna try to make this as vague as possible and say that this happened multiple times, so that way I'm not in any kind of trouble. But I guess the biggest regret is listening to someone say, "Hey, let's make the comic together."
I have a best friend who's wanted to do that for years, and we have still not, made a comment together. And he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because I value our friendship."
Yep.
Let's just put it there. So.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. That's fair. I think one piece of advice that I tried to follow and eventually I had to really, really give up on is that every campaign will grow and then pursuing that, right? That every campaign that you do will grow beyond the last one you did, right? So that if you made X amount on this one, you're going to make another 10% on top of that. The next one, another 5%. And that is not the case for most people. There's some people who manage to do that. Most of us don't. Most of us hit a ceiling. And that ceiling is rough to get through, that glass ceiling. So I would definitely say find the point you need to get at and try to find, I would say, contentment with hitting that point, but don't ever give up struggling to get beyond it.
Sure.
Right. But that's the thing though. But don't, beat yourself too much. Don't beat yourself up if you don't make it beyond that, because the market is what the market is, especially on Kickstarter. I'm doing the Oswald Chronicles, and I mean, I hit where I hit, and I'm fine with it because I know that's a tough sell on Kickstarter. Whereas if I go to conventions, it's a little different, so it just depends where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mr. Torres, you're up.
So this is actually something that happened recently. I heard about it before I came on this stream. The guy who originally created Roger Rabbit got back his trademark and copyright for that character.
Good.
Apparently, there was a clause that is a 35-year wait time. That if you sell your property to somebody through the Copyright Office, through legalese, you can get it back after 35 years. So 35 years later, the guy got Roger Rabbit back. So now with that in play, my question to everybody is, would you do that? Would you sell your property to Disney with the promise that in 35 years, you would get it back?
Aaron, what are your thoughts?
Well, the first I'd say no, being turning 50, I'd be dead in 35 years. So point to that, right? They just stole the copyright on my grave. Here you go, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah,
And shit. So no, that wouldn't work. I wouldn't sell any of my stuff to Disney if you paid me. I'm not a Disney hater. Okay, so I thought Disney in the 80s when I was into them.
Well, not just Disney, but anybody, any big person with a big bag of money.
Oh, big bag of money. Okay, if it was just Disney or whatever, I just can't. To me, those are all these executives, are all these guys that used to stand behind you, like when I was drawing class. You should sell that. You should do that. Like they have all the money, but they don't really have any of the ideas. And that's one thing that always bothers me about the creatives is I wouldn't sell it because it's like they want my idea because I can create it, but they just want it to make money. There's no heart or anything. I don't. It would do nothing for me to see my stuff in any other format. It just wouldn't do anything for me. So no, I wouldn't. Not even for 35 years. There's just not a payoff for that for me in any way. So
right, cool. Jason, what do you think?
I would sell for a lot of money and make up a new idea. I mean, if somebody would want to pay me a ton of money for Lords of the Cosmos, I would sell it and make up something completely new.
All right.
But what would you do with Lord of the Cosmos or something like Kid Disney? I'm just kidding. But I'm just thinking, damn it.
Put it on Kid Disney. If they want to pay me $35 million for it, I'll go make up something new. I'll make up a new idea.
All right. That's
Easy.
fair. That's fair. Mr. Dudley, what would you do?
So I come from the role-playing game world initially, right? I've been doing role-playing game illustration for the last 30 years off and on, right? So a company who I will not name, we love them to death, was working for them, and they had a deal with Disney and, using Disney for an example, right? and it didn't turn out the way they thought it was going to turn out, and they're still having problems. My thing with selling the idea, it depends on if I thought, and I'm with Aaron, I'm 55 years old. Come on, I'll probably be in the dust by then, right? But if I thought that I could secure some type of solid contract that they would do my idea justice, I think about selling, But having said that, because of the nature of capitalism, with Aaron, you discussed, Aaron, it's not about the integrity of the work. It's about, can they make money off of it? Can they squeeze sequel after sequel after sequel that has nothing to do with your original idea out of it? So it would probably hinge on that, I would say.
All right, cool. For myself, I think I would want the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle proviso in there, and that is that if I sold it for a bunch of money, I could still work on it.
Right.
Like, Eastman, is he the one that still owns it, or is it Laird? I think it's Laird.
Owns a piece. I think Laird sold his though too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Eastman's the one who owned it.
Yeah. Okay, so whichever one still owns it, he has a proviso. He can do 12 issues a year of the comic on his own, outside of whoever owns it, Mattel or whoever the hell is it that has it. So he could do his own comics, but it's him and it's his own thing for 12 issues every year. So with that same proviso, I would do it because life is short, right? And capital is capital. And, I wouldn't mind traveling the world while I work on these books.
I'll cook you up with that agent who got him that deal. Okay. Then you probably shoot me.
Right.
I know. I just think to me it would be hard to, even though it was money. I know people's money's money, but it would just be too heartbreaking.
Sure.
Especially my Gollings book. There's a personal message in there I wanted to get out, and have somebody come in and tear that up for a profit. No way. None.
And they're going to tear it up. Make no mistake.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me enough. There's certain stories I have that it's written the way it's written for a reason, and I don't want people fucking with it.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, you live your life however you live.
You live.
But to Jason's point, if you offer me $35 or $50 million, you understand that's life-changing money, not just for myself, but for everybody around me.
Right. I guess the thing is this though, true, right? If you make the sale, cool, but just be. There's something about George Lucas that pisses me off, and I'm gonna be real with you. He sells this idea to Disney, then he want to talk shit. It's like, no, man, you don't get that. You can't have cake and eat it too. You sold it. You didn't. If you should have had a little forethought, but you didn't at the time. And so my thing is this: even let's say Oswald Chronicles, you sold that, right? Me and you are friends, right? Don't come back to me 10 years later and be like, man, I wish I hadn't sold Oswald. I'm like, hey, man, I love you dearly, but you got to go.
Yeah.
Well, I got you. But like I said, I wouldn't sell it without that proviso. I would want to complete it my way and say, listen, there's mine and then there's theirs.
Right.
Yeah. Just like Mike Mignola with Guillermo del Toro. Hellboy, the movies are not what the comic book is, right? At least not what Guillermo did. So, he's had to make peace with that. But he could always say, well, mine is here. I got the books, right? And then his is there. You got Blu-rays or whatever.
But what's cool over Guillermo that he's a big fan.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
They got, for what I hear, they got a pretty good relationship.
Yeah. Well, if you watch some of the documentaries, you can see it. Yeah, right. There's tension there. There's tension because Guillermo, especially on that second movie, he went far afield from what Mike was thinking.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I'm like, it happens.
They're still friends, but Mike had
they're still friends.
Okay. You do your own thing. Yeah. You had to walk away a little bit.
Well, also, different media, man. Being, now since, becoming the screenwriter, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
You learn, man, that there's different mediums. You can do certain things in mediums that you can't do in other mediums. So, there's also a thought. That's a thought process you kind of want to look at when you thinking about this thing too.
Yeah. So Mark,
Which one? TSC.
Torres, what are your thoughts?
Which Mark?
Torres.
Because everybody mentioned that. Everybody mentioned that 35 years from now. I think that now I would not do it, but back then I would have done it. If the 35 years, like 35 years, you're going to get it back. I would have done it 35 years ago, but I wouldn't do it now.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. Dudley, you got another question?
The question is kind of going to piggyback off this question, right? In terms of quote unquote the different medium and whatnot, what different medium would you like to see your work put into besides comics?
Cool. Aaron, I think we're up to you.
I'm thinking. I mean, I like video games. I like VR, virtual reality. I think it'd be interesting. I remember this guy wanted to put one of my kids' book in virtual reality, but at the time it was being published by Action Lab, and I don't think they talked, so it never got done. But I thought that would have been neat. I mean, I don't know how he would have done it. He had an idea of putting, and I think the company's still around or something, putting kids' books in. So that would have been cool. To walk into that world, I think even if it's a short demo, I think would be interesting. The experience, especially the Knocked one with the Halloween vibes, I think it'd be kind of fun. I can see a video game, I think, would be fun. But then video games, to me, are a little different. You can just take a random story from my comic, and it's a gameplay. So it's not so much messing with the core storytelling idea, it's a gameplay. So I'm like, okay, that's a different take on it. So I'd be like, okay with that.
That's cool. Jason, what are your thoughts?
It'd be anime all the way. My question would be who would animate it? And I would have Madhouse do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go. That's the answer. It's pretty cut and dry there.
Is Madhouse the one that does the Batman animated ones?
No.
The Batman, the samurai, the one where he's a samurai.
Oh, maybe.
They did.
Maybe.
Ninja
We know them from
Scroll,
things like
they
Ninja
did
Scroll.
Supernatural Monster City.
Yeah, I thought
They
there was
did,
one because it's Batman Samurai or something like that. Yeah.
They did Boondock last 2 seasons too.
They really did the Boondocks?
Yeah,
really?
they Boondock last 2 seasons too. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Did they do the racing car movie?
Oh yeah, Red Line. Yeah, they did Red Line.
Red Line.
Yeah,
that thing is crazy, man. That thing is cool.
Yeah, that's a movie that doesn't get enough love.
You ever seen Dead Leaves?
No.
There's a little short movie they did. It was nuts, man. It was great.
Dead Leaves.
Yeah, they got some cool stuff.
All right, cool. So Mark Torres, what are your thoughts on the other Mark's question?
So since I actually had my book adapted to a radio play, I really like the process, and I think it'd be really good as a TV series. And I've been kicking that idea around over the years as to what a TV series of that comic would be. So I think a TV series, especially nowadays, limited series, Netflix type of deal, just like 8 episodes or what have you.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Is it live action, you mean?
Mark?
Live action or animation?
Yeah, live action.
Live action, okay.
Live action series, yeah.
All right, cool. I'm like Jason. I'm anime, so I would probably move in that direction for the Oswald Chronicles. It would definitely be anime.
Yeah.
Now as to who, I think
you wouldn't do Muppets?
No, thank you. No Muppets.
Come on, you don't want to see the Fraggle Rock version of Oswald? That'd kick ass.
Nah, I guess
I would totally watch that.
I'm looking at Dark Crystal Oswald.
Yeah.
Well, I think what is it? More? How about a live action like what is it? The Lion King. There you go.
Oh yeah. Right. That'd be crazy too. Yeah.
That would be insane. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I would do for that. It would, but more likely than not, probably anime because of all of the craziness that would be involved in it later on. Like the scenes and just the worlds and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm not considering what they can do with CG now. It's not necessarily limiting with what you can do as far as worlds, but I think it would probably be easier to do just as anime.
Right.
You know,
I think Oswald has that charm too. That anime would be beautiful as anime.
And I think the visual hand drawing, how they do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Let me you know what? Yeah, let me give you a softball one. What's your favorite genre to read?
Am I up again? Okay.
What's your favorite
I'll throw
genre
out
to
there and
read?
say sci-fi.
I would say sci-fi, but it's probably fantasy. I think I get more so scared. I write more fantasy, and I like to read more crazy fantasy. So I'm always on the lookout for like fantasy stuff, like battle. I always like battle chasers, like video games, fantasy stuff. Sci-fi would be very close second. It's a mix, but I probably would lean more fantasy. So all different kinds. I like Lord of the Rings and Conan, and I mean those. So any fans, I really like never-ending story. So like the surreal fantasy stuff too. Yeah.
All right, cool. Mark, what are your thoughts?
I like dystopian stuff. Like I'm a huge. She like amused me. I'm a huge Octavia Butler fan. I like Octavia Butler and Anne Rice are probably my North Stars. So, you know, I like a lot of Anne Rice stuff, but I like vampire fiction too, you know, and I like, one more guy. I'm a huge, huge fan of World War Z, the book.
Book series? Okay.
Yeah, I love that book, man.
Jason, what are your thoughts?
The answer would be Cosmic Horror. That's probably what I read most of now.
So a lot of Lovecraft. I mean, I would imagine by this point you read it all.
Yeah, I've read it all, but there's so much really awesome like short stories that other people are writing. So there seems to be more now than there's ever been. I think it's because Lovecraft going public domain, whatever, 10 years ago. So there's tons of publishing houses putting out collections of short fiction, which again, some suck, some is really good, some is great. So it's kind of your mileage may vary, but I enjoy picking up short story compilations and just trying to check them out to see what they do with like Lovecraft themed stories.
All right, cool. Is Arkham House still around? I gotta look it up. Yeah, I gotta look up because I have some of their old, like this stuff from like the 80s and the 90s, like older stuff. A lot of compilations that they would put together. But yeah,
they've actually been. There's a few independent horror movies that did some cosmic horror pretty well. That I really liked.
What's the one with drawing a blank on his name? Guy who played Ghost Rider.
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When he did the Color from Space, Color from Space.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job on that. I actually liked that one. I was like, okay, this is considering how short that original story was. I thought the liberties they took with them. Like, okay, yeah, this works. The liberties they're taking, I like it. So yeah, I saw that one. Really enjoyed it.
So Dark Regions Press had put out some really good books. I'm taking a look. They may be out of business now. Let me take a look. Dark Regions Press. They did some really good collections.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they have shut down.
I hate that too, man. You be into something, then the people put out are gone.
Well, they were the publisher, so I mean, it wasn't. I don't know. I mean, they were reprinting other people's books, selling other people's books. They were kind of like a mini Diamond,
right?
Yeah, but they did a great job with a lot of stuff. So yeah, it kind of. I thought they were out of business, but yeah, they are.
Gotcha. Yeah, but to answer my own question, I think fantasy would probably be the thing I'm most into. And it's all, various forms. But I was going to tell you, Aaron, if you ever read something called Birthright, it came out from Image.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah,
I did started reading. That's the one where the guy comes back. He went in quest. He comes back to the real world, right?
Right, but he leaves as a little kid, though.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he comes back
I
as like
started-
this super jacked barbarian.
I started reading that. I really liked it. They finished that series, right? It's all
Yeah.
done, isn't it?
That's all
Okay,
done.
I'll have to go back. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
good.
yeah. That's a good one. I enjoyed that one.
I read like the first 4 issues, and then this has happened to me all the time. I'll read like issues, and then I'm like, oh, what's this? And then I'm,
Right.
magpie and something
Yeah.
shiny over here. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I have read some of that. So
Yeah,
Have you read
that's why I like omnibuses and compendiums.
Right.
Because they're like this
Have you-
thick.
yeah, those are the stuff I like. There was something called the 7 Deadly something, or it wasn't Sins, it was an anime. It was something.
Or you mean Seven
think
Deadly Sins? It was 7 Deadly Sins.
That's an
the
anime,
anime.
but it
Yeah,
wasn't
on,
an anime.
it
There
was
was,
on Netflix for a while. I think it's still on there.
No, he's
yeah,
talking
no,
about
this was a
comic book.
comic written
Oh, the
by.
comic, you mean? Okay.
I don't know if it was Mark Miller or something about these, and I know it starts off with them like transporting this high-end villain in a cage, and there's like 7 or 6 of these sort of magical fantasy heroes transporting this villain, like this sort of
I remember the
high-end
book.
dark
Yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah.
And then
remember the book,
he
yeah.
finished it. And I'd like to read that, but people say the ending's kind of lackluster. I'm like, oh man. So he did
It's
that
not the
with that.
magic order, is it?
No, he did the book Low. That was his book he did before. He did the book Low about the
No.
underwater ocean.
Lowe's not Mark Miller. That's
I know it's not. I know it's not right. I can't remember the writer's name. He
did
Okay,
Tokyo Ghost too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There. Okay.
And he also did
You guys-
Batman. He also did Batman with the one with the Joker. Was same for a minute.
Rick Remender.
Rick
Yeah,
Remender,
yeah.
yes. And then where okay, go ahead and keep I'm gonna because I do and he just put this out and it was a fantasy one. No, it was
Remender does a lot of
Escape.
cool stuff.
Yeah, he does. He's like all over. I know I'm not gonna find this now. So
Rick is one of those hit or miss guys for me. Because I like
Seven
Low.
to
Seven to
Yeah.
Eternity. That was
that's
a good
what it
book.
is. It was 7
Yeah.
to Eternity. So was
Yeah,
that
yeah.
good?
Yeah,
Okay,
that was-
because I
that
keep
was good.
seeing that.
The Opina, the artist,
Yeah,
incredible.
Jerome Opina is a monster.
Yeah, that
Okay,
dude.
yeah, because I saw that
Incredible.
and I was like, that was really cool. And I know they had the big omnibus. And I kept
Yeah.
like reading online, is it worth it? Everybody's like, the ending sucks. I'm like, well, okay, I don't want it. But I like because I read Low. Low was a hit or miss for me. But I really love his Fear Agent. Like that's what got me in the recommender when he did Fear Agent.
Fear Agent.
And
was
I've
fun.
always tried to and some of the stories he's written later, like I still think Fear Agent, I still like that better than most of the new stuff you're doing, and I can't quite figure out why.
Mhm.
Because it's older, but he nailed it, and so I'll check out that new one. But I saw that 7, and I keep going, it's a little bit of an investment, but the artwork was gorgeous. Not take a stab because now it's probably second market hundreds of dollars or some crap or something. I don't know.
You go to cheapgraphicnovels.com or you go to DCBS, discountcomicbookservices.com. Check them out, and I think it's In Stock Trades. Check those two sites before you check anyplace else because they'll be like 40-50% off, and sometimes even cheaper. So, and I think cheapgraphicnovels.com, they were doing a big sale on image stuff.
The image, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might be able to find stuff there. But Rick Remender, he's like hit or miss for me. Like there's some days he's really like, it's funny, Black Science and Low, right? My problem with Rick is that he keeps hitting the same beats. It's like, Swiss Family Robinson in Trouble. Everybody goes out and it's just like, dude, same story, different situation. Beautiful artist though. Like he gets
always. Yeah.
He always gets the artist, and that's what gets me. I'm like, your art looks great. And I read the stories, and like, well, one, there's no happy people in a recommended story. They're all depressed and either borderline drug addicts or recovering drug addicts.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone, especially in Low, when she just, not to give her any spoilers, she like sacrifices her whole family, and she was the only one that left the planet. And she's like, okay, good, well left. I'm like, yeah, but you killed like all your family on the way. And it was like, okay, but I made it. So it's all good. I'm like, okay, that's not really saving. That's not really winning the day.
Right.
You just don't go up in space and kick the rest of your space crew down. Okay, you all died, but I made it. Yay. Like, so Low was, he's a hit or miss. When he's on, he's really good. But when he starts, there's a lot of tropes that he writes in the stories. He's a little bit like Stephen King. Stephen King's good, but he has a lot of Stephen King tropes that are written into his story. Rick Remender is starting to get that way a little bit.
What's funny is I read my first. Well, I've read 2 books by Stephen King. One is How to Write, which I thought was a good book. The second was called Fairy Tale, and it's the only one fiction book of his
Yeah.
ever read. And everyone would ask me the same thing. Oh, did he hit the tropes? I was like, I've never read any of his books. I wouldn't know.
Right.
There are definitely Stephen King tropes. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, it was great to me. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, that was a lot of fun. All right, cool. Well, gentlemen, I mean, we made it to hour 2. This was a lot of fun. Aaron, let's start with you. Where can we find you and your work, sir?
You can find it on, like, my last name spelled there, Humphres Illustration at bigcartel.com. That's my store, or .com. Just write in Humphres Illustration, and you'll find all my stuff. I'm on Facebook too. Same thing, Humphres Illustration, or my name. I think you just go Aaron Humphres. I usually post my personal. I try to go to 2. I was on Instagram for a while, but I keep forgetting about Instagram. Like, I'll go on, I'm like, I still got crap on here. I totally forgot. So, like, I'm a Facebook follower. I guess I'm old. I just like Facebook because it seems like you can comment more and start a conversation. Instagram, you can't really do that, so it just kind of didn't hold my attention.
Sure.
So, yeah.
All right, cool. Jason, where can we find you and your work, sir?
I'd say the easiest way to find me is going to be on Twitter or Instagram. I'm just at Lenox Artist, Lenox Artist. You can go to my Facebook page, Lenox Illustrator on Facebook, and then my Etsy store is Lenox Art Emporium. And then obviously we have the Indiegogo campaign. You can look up Lords of the Cosmos 5 on Indiegogo, and I have it pinned on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. So if you can find one of those, you can find the campaign really easily right at the top. So easy way to find me, man. JD, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
Listen, brother, anytime, you know how it is. Mark, where can they find you and your work, sir? Dudley.
Oh, well, yeah. So you can find Imaginos Plus, our anthology, and Origami Super Punch, our manga anthology, on IndyPlanet.com. You can find Judafist at JudafistTheComicSeries.com, and you can find the extras at TheExtras.TheComicSeries.com.
Cool. Mr. Torres.
All right, so you can hear my radio show. It came from the radio on every Sunday, the first, third, and fifth Sundays of the month on WGBB, is Long Island's oldest radio station. That's 95.9 FM, simulcast on 12:40 a.m. at 6 p.m. It's also on regular radio stations, WARY 88.1 FM in Westchester County. We're on online radio stations, sci-fi.radio on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. We're on BTD.radio on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also on the second Wednesday of every month at the East Millbrook Library in Long Island. So that's this Wednesday. You guys can go down if you're local to our next live show. We're going to have author Frank DeStefano. He's going to be raffling off one of his books, as well as we're going to be giving away 2 free passes to the Big Apple Con. And also you can listen to us on any of the podcast places. We're on 45 different podcast places. So if you have it, just Google It Came From the Radio, little button on there. You can find us there.
All right, cool. And before we go off here, I got a question for Jason. Jason, you're a little bit more in tune with this stuff than I am. Ixer 1. Has there been any talk of doing a new Blu-ray?
For what? I'm sorry.
Ixer 1.
I've heard nothing about it, but let's go to the magic of. I always called it Icer, but hold on.
AnimeNews.com, AnimeNewsNetwork.com.
Well,
yeah. Nothing yet.
My Google is moving very slowly. Let's go to news. It looks like there was a lawsuit and censorship.
What?
Yeah.
That's great.
I might. So I have. You're going to call it Ixer. I called it Icer, but I have Ixer 3. But yeah, the first one. Yeah, I don't think I have that, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah, Ixer 1. Yeah. What's funny is Ixer 3. Daphne, we did 2 issues for Central Park Media. So we did 2 issues. One of them was based on the anime. Then I wrote the 3rd through the 4th issue, which they never printed. They only printed the 2nd issue.
Right.
So it was incomplete. It was terrible. But
so if you follow Discotheque Media, they are kind of like one of the more likely culprits that. So every now and then at New York Comic Con or San Diego, they will have a big live panel where they'll post stuff on social media as it happens. And they've dropped some bombs on old titles in the last few years. So I would definitely follow. It's like Disco and then TEK. They usually have a lot to say these days about some of these old titles getting brought back. They are one of like the boutique Blu-ray people. Like they rebuilt, if you guys remember Memories from the mid-90s.
Yeah.
So they just did a super high-end Blu-ray re-release of that with like tons of special features. They cleaned up all the colors. They made it sound better, look better. They even rebuilt some of like the decayed, like broken CGI effects, and they do like a whole side by side to show you what they did. And it's not like a Lucas thing where they screwed it up. They actually made it look awesome.
Nice.
But I would really keep an eye on Discotheque because that is the kind of title that they would drop and be like, hey, we're doing this thing.
Right.
Whereas Funimation is kind of more like, I look to Funimation to do like the newest stuff. And then if you look at Crunchyroll is doing a lot of stuff that's kind of like the newer niche stuff. Like if you want to get Kill la Kill on Blu-ray, you got to go to Crunchyroll. If you want to get Cyberpunk 2077, it's only available through them. So they're kind of like the boutique for like the newer kind of like, hey, this is a rarer streaming one for the physical media people. But I would definitely keep an eye on Discotheque. Those are the dudes and ladies, cool. Right?
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. I got to check them out. And for myself, you can find me just about every Sunday here. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those different places. And everybody, please check out the show notes because in the show notes are all the links for all of these various creators. All these creators, they're all doing great work. So please check out those links. Click on those links and buy those books because those are great books being done by these creators. They're all dedicated to the art form. They're all dedicated to their work. So thank you so much, everybody. And just remember, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.